All right, we're live.
We are live. First one.
Who's going to be?
When's Jake's hat?
No, yeah, well, you can get a Booster Barbecue hat at boosterbarbecue.com. No takers.
No takers yet?
Since we don't have any takers on here, when do you think we should tell people about our special announcement? I mean, we got to talk about that soon.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll announce it tonight.
You think so? We can announce it tonight.
You know you want to. What's up, everybody?
I'm actually going to let you do it. What's up, Sean? Michael Fay? Angel? Chris Kosman? Oh, Tyler's, of course, Tyler's here. Kyle? Ron Davis? Yeah, our guest tonight, I can see him here. He's laughing when we said Tyler's here because everyone knows who that is. Kyle lost his top fan status, man. But you're back now, so hopefully you can get it back here. Jim Hudgens, dang it, Dave.
Why you mess up on his name like that? You shouldn't be messing up on his name.
Larry Booze, who's Tyler? Way to get it a little bit here, man. But give a shout out here real quick to my nice hat here, boosterbarbecue.com. If you need any barbecue supplies, Arcasipi combo, all that kind of good stuff, we thank Booster Barbecue. Use QChat 10% off for that. Big Jim Hudgens steak seasoning. Big shout out for Big Jim. Thank you very much for supporting the show. And we got to do a giveaway here soon with that. But we also got some comps coming up here, and we're going to have it there with us as well. Right, Dave? You're going to bring it along with us?
Indeed, I am.
So, all right. Well, if we got nothing else, Dave, how do you think we should talk about what we got happening here soon?
I don't know.
You just want to go ahead and say it? I'll let you say it.
You seem like you got some big ants in your pants to say it.
No, I'm going to let you say it. Go ahead and say it.
We got to wait till we get more followers.
Nah, come on now. We got Eric waiting here for us.
You want me to say it? All right.
Go ahead.
Since Jake's got ants in his pants, and he's not going to stop until I say it. End of the month. What day is that? 29th.
March 30th.
March 30th. We'll be having on the winningest man in barbecue.
Oh.
As Jake says, my daddy, Myron Mixon, will be on the show. So get your questions ready.
March 30th, man. Myron Mixon's going to be on QChat. Dude, I got goosebumps now just thinking about it. And you know that I'm freezing cold. One of the two things. I'm freezing cold, and also that's pretty cool. So with that, what we want to do, I mean, we're trying to think of the way to do the show to get everyone involved, because obviously that wouldn't be able to happen without all of you who watch every week. And since, you can't be in barbecue and not know who Myron is or know about him, we're thinking about trying to do something kind of cool other than, Myron, how'd you get into barbecue? Everyone knows all pretty much about that. And other than like future plans, stuff like that, I mean, we want to maybe trying to see what questions you all have. So we're going to put something out here in the next couple of weeks of something. Look
at Howard.
Something that's going to be able to have your guys' questions and be able to ask him, because the whole deal is we wanted to do something cool for the Mid-Atlantic and for our friends and family here. And so now that we got Myron Mixon coming onto the show, that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, it's pretty daggone awesome to get to have. But also the people that watch it, no one has any idea the people that watch this show. So, all right, Dave.
Well, let's bring in Mr. Eric himself.
Eric Forrester of Mason Dixon Barbecue Services. Bring him in on here. Dave, you want to do it or you want me to do it? Because last time you brought him in here and I kicked him out.
All right, here we go.
There we go.
Hey, how we doing, everybody?
What's going on, Eric? How are you?
So that's a big announcement.
It is a big announcement, man. That is. We're excited. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm such small potatoes compared to that.
We all are.
Yeah, for sure. But no, man, thank you so much for coming on the show, Eric. We appreciate it.
Oh, no, I really appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely. So for a lot of people that don't know, man, if no one's ever came in and hung out at the store or anything like that, they never heard your barbecue story, and you've got a pretty good one. How did you get into cooking barbecue, and what was your you got to tell everyone your team name from when you got into it?
Man, so a long time ago, because I'm pretty old. Like Dave was just saying he's 38, and I'm thinking, God, I wish I was 38. But anyway, a long time ago, I was in the restaurant business for a long time and kind of escaped that. I'd been in for about 12 years or so, escaped the restaurant business, actually got into manufacturing. And one of the companies that I worked for is called BRMC Fabrications, Blue Ridge Mountain Cookery. And we made giant barbecue grills for military applications. Like one of the cool things that we ever did was we actually have a BRMC grill on every aircraft carrier in the Navy. They're all stainless steel. The big ones cost anywhere from $24,000 to $30,000. Could feed a couple thousand people at a time. I mean, these are monster grills. So with that, I got to know Chris Carter from Carter Q Barbecue. Out of Mount Airy. He has actually Carter Q Barbecue is a restaurant now over in Mount Airy, Maryland. And Chris was a guy that we actually did business with his family. And we did some side fabrication stuff. And Chris was big time into barbecue. And I kind of got sucked in with him. And we started a team called Smoked Encounters of the Third Swine. And it was pretty cool. We did, this was back in like 05. To 07, 08. We did mostly MBA. Back there was some May competitions, MIM competitions, and then we did a few KCBS comps. We did about 5 or 6 a year. We did okay. Probably our best finish was second at the National Barbecue Battle down in DC. But it was fun. Like I would talk about the good old days because I mean, like we slept on the street. We had 2 tents. We had no idea what we were getting into. And back then, like MIM stuff, they came to your site and you had to go over your cooker and why you chose that cooker, and you had to pull pieces of meat off of your shoulder that you were doing, and this and that and the other thing. You had to have all your spices lined up. And I remember we had no idea what we were getting into. We're looking around. Paul Kirk's next to us. He's got this whole setup there, okay, and he's got all his spices laid out. He's got 3 or 4 different drinks on the table, so that way the judges can clean their. What's going on? And they're like, oh, well, the judges are going to come to you in order to do this, and we had no idea. So we're calling our wives who are at the hotel, and so we're like, okay, you guys need to find us some tables, and you need to find us some tablecloths. Here they come running with like bed sheets, and we're like feeling, oh my God, we're borrowing tables from people around us and stuff like that so we can set all this up. We had no idea. And it was the funniest thing because we're there and you know, they're asking know all the teams back then because number one, it wasn't that big. I mean, I think we had like 35 teams that year or something like that. And in Memphis and May, because they come around all the teams, they kind of get to know the teams. But I'll never forget, like you were talking about Myron Mixon. So Myron was set up on one side of us and Paul Kirk was set up on the other side of us. And so we're sitting there and the judges come in and we go through our thing and we kind of tell them about what we're doing. They're like, oh, you guys are new. And it seems like, you know, you kind of have a nice setup here and da-da-da-da-da. And they go through their deal. And then they go next door to Myron, and Myron's in a trailer. He's the only guy in a trailer. And he's in this trailer, and he comes out, and they give him this big hug. And they're like, hey, how you doing? And they're hugging him and this and that. And I remember Chris and I looking at each other like, we're screwed. We're so screwed. But, yeah, it was really funny. They're like, oh, hey, how's the kid? And da-da-da-da-da. They knew him, I mean, through and through. It was really funny. But anyway, so that's kind of how we got into barbecue. And after I did that, like I said, we competed for a few years. And then I left that company, and I own another company called Self Services. And we do metal finishing work for military applications and stuff. And after about 1.5 years of that, I really missed barbecue. And I was going to buy a bar and restaurant. I actually really missed the restaurant business. And I was going to buy a bar and restaurant down here in Shippensburg. And we were about 2 weeks out from buying it. And my wife came to me and said, you shouldn't do this because we'll be divorced in about 2 years if you do this. And I'm like, well, okay, I don't want to be divorced. So I ended up opening up a barbecue supply store. And I kind of went actually with the guys from Meadow Creek Welding. I had been working with them. One of the things that we've been really successful in doing at Blue Ridge was setting up contracts for grills for the military. And we had set up a deal with the guys at Meadow Creek to do that, because back then they weren't online, they weren't anything, of course, because they're Amish. And so we were actually I continued to sell grills for them through military contract stuff. And then kind of went to Melvin about, I'm like, hey, I think I want to start a barbecue supply store. Do you care? And he's like, no. And he kind of helped me along a little bit, and we got it started. It's really funny because every now and then I run into, a sign from when we were open. And when I first opened, we had the funkiest, stupidest hours. I mean, like I was open like 3 hours on a Monday, and I was closed Tuesday. I was open 12 to 4 on Wednesday. It was just really weird. But anyway, it's done really well since then.
Yeah. You've got 2 stores now, one in Frederick and one in Greencastle.
Yeah, I do.
Man, I tell you what, man. I mean,
Greencastle store do better.
Yeah. I mean, you've got one of the nicest stores out there. I mean, any cooker, anything, it's a nice place just to come hang out and have fun and talk crap too.
Yeah, thanks. Actually, we have a lot of fun doing that. Like I said, you had Larry Booz came up earlier. He was in earlier today. I haven't seen Howard for a while. He put on a nice little, one of the things we've been doing this year is small little boot camps, I guess you'd call them.
Uh-huh.
He did that curing class for us earlier this year. That worked out really well. Larry did the sausage class. Yeah, it's been pretty cool. You
guys just had a really nice knife skills class too that I completely forgot about. I would have wanted to have been there as well with oh man, he was my old boss.
Roger Martin.
Oh, wow. I apologize for any Penn Avenue people watching this, man. Whew.
That's funny.
I was going to say Rolf Garrett, but he knows everyone teaches everything that.
Yeah, that was a lot. He knows a lot. Roger's forgotten. Well, he's retired now.
Yeah.
But he's forgotten more than, I think most of us will ever know about me.
Oh,
that guy he's ridiculous.
Kid, have you ever seen him break a chicken down in 30 seconds?
Oh yeah, without even looking at it. He'll come there and talk to you, and man, the knife just goes to town. And oh yeah.
So talk about a little bit about Ironman. I mean, that's kind of been a big thing in the area is the Ironman style competitions. For anyone who doesn't know, tell them what Ironman is and kind of how you came up with that idea.
Well, like any bad idea, we were all drunk. But we were there were 3 of us in a bar. This is I guess, man, it had to be 9 years ago now. And we had just gotten finished watching Barbecue Pitmasters. And Leanne, I don't know if you guys remember this show or not. Leanne used to cook on eggs. Mm-hmm. And all of her eggs she controlled with gurus.
Yes.
Okay. And so there was one of the shows, all right, where the power went out, all right, and the gurus didn't work. And when the power came back on, the gurus came back on, but they still weren't working right. So
that was in Dover.
What's that? Dover. That's right.
Dover. Yep.
Dover.
I remember that.
She had no idea what to do. She was losing her mind because the gurus weren't working. Okay. And I think she even called Bob on that.
She did call Bob. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning he come over.
Yeah, to get hold of him, to get him to help her with, and it turned out that they weren't plugged in right or something.
The temper wasn't clicked in all the way. I was like,
you got it.
What a
so that was the common thought, was like, okay, come on, give me a break. If you're a pit master, you ought to know how to control your flipping pit. All right. And so that's kind of how the idea first started. And we called it the Go Naked Barbecue Show. Okay, because you went naked because you had nothing electric, no electric controllers. Okay?
That'd be canceled in 2021.
What's that?
That'd be canceled in 2021.
Yeah, go naked. Yeah, I'm so offended. Anyway, but anyhow, that's how it kind of started. So we were all in a bar and we were all about in the bag, and we were talking about that show and how ridiculous it was and how bad you had to be of a pitmaster in order to rely on electronics. And so we started that first year as a backyard comp, and I think we went 2 years as a backyard competition. And then finally we decided that we were going to go, and we got a little more stringent as time went on, And finally, we decided we were going to go KCBS. And one of the rules that we put together with that was that you could only cook one rack of ribs, one pork butt, one brisket, and then 7 pieces of chicken, one extra piece of chicken in order to taste it. And then no electronics, none of that stuff. And it worked out great. People loved it. Now, we had to get special permission from KCBS to make it a voluntary kind of thing. Everybody had to volunteer to do it. And, up until the 1 year we did, everybody volunteered to do it. Yeah, it worked out really well. We had a lot of fun with it. I mean, it was tough. But one of the things I liked about it too, and you're one of those guys, Jake, is that, it allowed a lot of new teams to get into competition barbecue because it's cheap to do. Okay, you're not going against teams that are doing like 3 brisket and 3 or 4 pork butts and 5 racks of ribs, 30 pieces of chicken. Everybody has a limited budget as far as what their meat's going to be, and the competition itself only cost. I think the first year it was like $100 or $150, and last year, the last time we did it, $200 to get in. So compared to most competitions out there, it's really cheap to do. So we were able to bring in a lot of new teams that were looking to get into it without like breaking the bank.
Yeah, that'd be one where you'd see a lot of new teams there and be like, this is the big guys are sweating. And these new teams like, we just saw a barbecue comp and you only need to cook one meat and it was $150. Yeah, let's just do it. They didn't know any better.
Yeah. So I mean, I look at a lot of the names that are popping up there and stuff like that. And it's a lot of those guys that that were Howard Poole, Kyle Hasselbarth, all those guys that were that was their first comp that they'd ever done, and it worked out really well. We were really happy to bring new teams into the comp into the fold. I think KCBS is figuring that out now, that they're real excited that they have all these backyard teams that at some point or another will then get into the Master Series and stuff, because we see a lot of teams dropping out now.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing about the Ironman has to be the flyer where it says, if you don't know how to start your fire, the Boy Scouts will be around to help.
It's true. It's absolutely true. So, it kind of made it hard, but at the same time, it made it, very even for everybody to go about doing that.
Look, speaking of your sons, Howard Poole and all them, there's Josh Pace is in here as well now.
Oh, there you go.
So, but talk a little bit about what the plan is for your Ironman SCA.
Okay, so this year, one of the problems that we had was we didn't know, because I really considered doing the Ironman again this year, just the regular KCBS Ironman. But we put in, we're what I call self-funded. Okay, so Mason-Dixon BBQ pays for everything. So we turn around and we normally have between $20,000 and $25,000 wrapped up in that competition. Now it's an open house and we want to bring people in. But the last one that we had, I know everybody loves to remember the Ironman as rainy and cold and snowy and windy. Okay,
yeah,
but no one remembers the last one. Okay, so the last one, it was 70 degrees and sunny, and we had almost 3,000 people there. We ran out of places to park people and to put people and all that kind of stuff. And hey, Howard. Yeah, good thing my wife's not here. She'd be like, "Hey, boo." But anyway, so we couldn't do that again in case we had really good weather. Okay, which the odds of that are slim and none. But in case we had really good weather again this year, I didn't know if we could get away with that size of an event, and we would be the first ones to really, put that together. So one of the things that we really thought about, and we were the first competition to actually put together, we did state judging classes and all that stuff even before that. Mm-hmm. And we just had a blast with the state competition. And what we figured out was that, we can still do a competition. We can do a state comp, and we can go ahead and we can do that and make it fun. We'll have less public there, because when people hear about a barbecue competition, they think TV and they're like, "Ooh, we're going to a barbecue competition." Mm-hmm. So we get that many people there. I don't want that many people there. I just want to have a lot of fun. I want barbecue people there. I mean, we do want to sell some stuff at the store because it's an open house and everything else like that. But I don't need 2,000 to 3,000 people there. If we get 200 or 300 people there, that'd be fantastic. All right. plus all you guys out there cooking and everything else. So what we decided to do was what we call the single double. We're going to do a single SCA competition on Friday night. And we decided, now we talked it over with Angel. I see Angel was on here, and Brett. And I think Angel's coming in as a rep. And I think Brett's coming in as a rep too, I think. Is she coming in? I can't read it. Brett and I
don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's not true. Anyhow, but yeah, so they're coming in as reps, and we talked about doing it as an Ironman. So it's got to be completely voluntary. Okay, everybody will still sign up. I think if anybody knows, it's only $100 to get into that comp. Okay, Friday night. All right, you can sign up for it. You'll still get 2 chips. Okay, and the whole 9 yards. But if you want to go Ironman, I don't know if you guys noticed now, we almost doubled the prize money for the Ironman. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you decide that you want to go Ironman, then when you go to pick your second steak, instead of picking a steak, you'll give me your chip.
You're gonna have a lot of teams that do that because that's a big thing now. Is just cooking one steak. I mean, Angel does it. I know Rodney Garrett is all over doing that. I don't know who all is going to be there, but there'll definitely be people that do that for sure.
Well, somebody does. If they do that and they win, they're going to make a lot more money. And that's kind of how we entice to do it. Like Brett was concerned that but I was like, oh man, I mean, why not? Again, if you cook one, and that way, if you mess up one, you're done. You don't have a second one to go back on, but you know what? It shows you as a cook and what you can do. Absolutely.
Yeah, we've talked about it, and I mean, a lot of people just do that one steak. I mean, they don't want to overthink their second one, or they got some people that they have to do their first steak. Or in our case, I do my first steak. Dave tells me it's dog crap, and I freak out and mess up my second steak.
So I was preparing you for the Ironman.
There we go.
You just want to cook one. See, there's always a reason why I do things.
Yeah, right. See, nicely done.
Our last competition, he took one bite of my steak. That doesn't taste the way it normally does. That's not good. Jake, what did you do wrong? What did you do differently? And I'm there like freaking out, pacing back and forward, wondering what's going on and what I did wrong. And he's just like, you need to calm down, man. But your steak is garbage. You need to calm down.
It wasn't that bad. Let's just say when the competition got done, he didn't even talk when I left. I'm like, see you, Jake. He's like, say an hour into my ride, he's like, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I was acting like that. He goes, that wasn't me. I apologize. I'm like, it's all right, dude. But
when you finish dead last after someone tells you your steak's garbage.
At least I was honest.
And you should have seen he's always been that way, man. In competition and everything, you've always freaked out. When something doesn't go perfect, man, you were like the freaking out dude.
Hey, I've kind of got a little bit better with that. I gotta.
Roll with it.
What's that? Oh, so here's another question. Speaking of last place, are you guys gonna have the dead ass last award?
Oh man, I love that. That's one of my favorite things about state comps. You remember that one, the first one that we did? Rich Green came in dead ass last, and everybody was so you don't ever do that. And so we were like, okay, so we announced dead ass last. Of course, it's just a number. No one knows who it is. And Rich. Me, that's me. He's like, nowhere to go but up from here. And he was high-fiving everybody on his way up. That was one of the best things ever. Yeah, we'll have a special prize for that ass laugh.
Jim Hudgens said if I'm like that, he wants me cooking next to him. No, I don't want to cook next to someone like Jim.
You'd be all nervous, goosebumps, just like mine are going to be on. You'd be all jittery. That's good.
Dude.
Jim, you can hang out next to us.
You say that, Dave, but all he's got to do is look over, and he's like, "Man, that steak doesn't look right." Oh my God, Jake!
Yeah.
Like, what? What do you mean? What?
Oh yeah, he'd be in the trailer. He'd be in his trailer tweaking on something, trying to do something different. That thing come out looking like chicken. You'd be like, "Jake, what are you doing with that thing?"
He's looking at me and be like, "My seasoning doesn't taste like that. What did you do wrong?" It shouldn't taste like that. I'd be freaking out. Oh man! But you guys, what you guys do dinners as well, Friday lunches. So you said you missed the restaurant world a little bit, but you still get a little bit of that restaurant world every now and then on Fridays, don't you?
Yeah, we do. I mean, honestly, it kind of started by accident to a certain degree, where we were bored on Fridays, and so we'd start cooking. For everybody that was, for the employees that were there. Actually, at the time, it was just two of us, me and Mark Flanagan, and we're like, okay. And then, somebody asked one day for, see if we could do some pork for them, a couple pounds of pork, and we're like, yeah, okay, we can do that. And da 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 da. Now here we are, like 6 years later. And we only do it on Fridays. It confuses the hell out of people because we only do it on Fridays. We only do it until we sell out. Okay. We only do it from November through March, and that's it. All right. We have a fixed menu, and then we have a special every Friday. And we're doing, I don't know, anywhere between 140 and 160 meals on average on Fridays. It's slowed down a little bit here with the weather, with all the snow that we had and crap. Kind of got us, but no, that's about average as to what we end up doing every Friday. So it's really nice because when we're really slow, it gives us something to do, gives us an opportunity to cook. Although Tyler at 5 o'clock in the morning is not exactly what I call perky.
We can talk about that too, because I competed with him for a while, and him in the mornings is not the best thing in the world.
Yeah,
you got to stay caveman, bro.
God forbid he had a Dunkin' Donuts coffee or something, man. Because I'll tell you what, the meat goes on, and then Tyler goes to the bathroom for like 2 hours. You just got to. Although he's happier when he comes out, I will say.
I hope so. 2 hours, you better be awake by then.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's starting to get there anyhow. But
I tell you what, though, I had barbecue enchiladas there, and oh my goodness, the enchiladas are amazing, man. I love them things.
Oh, thanks, man. That's high praise coming from you. I know you're pretty finicky about your barbecue.
Man, look at me, man. I eat trash garbage.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so we started doing that. We're going to end it up here at the end of March. The last Friday in March will be our last Friday lunch. So we'll actually sell out. If history's any tell of what we're going to do, we'll normally do that day about 60 to 80 pounds of pork and about the same amount of brisket. And then we'll do about 100 chickens, about 15 racks of ribs. We'll go through a lot of stuff, but most of it will all be sold before we open the door on Friday.
Yeah, Tyler, when you go to comps, Tyler is every hour, I got to poop. Like, no, you don't. We just went. Yeah, I do. So we got to pull over and sit there and wait. And it's probably about 15, 20 minutes. And then when he comes out, he comes out of his normal self. And then about a little bit later, I got to poop and pull back in there. It's not good, man. You should definitely see a doctor.
Shoot. Okay, some people got problems.
But yeah, he's not a happy guy in the morning.
No, not at all. Not at all.
He was normally pretty happy when he came in. So
what does Howard do for work now? He's got to be happy.
Well, you would think so. I mean, actually, he's a safety guy now, though.
Oh.
Sure that, when you're getting high, you're safe about it at the same time while you're working. Right, Howard?
That's a medical problem. Oh man!
Shoot,
Dave, what's some of our OG questions we can ask Eric here?
I don't know why you always do that to me.
I don't know why you have them always prepared.
I don't know because I got a stack full of papers here and I don't know what the heck's in it.
Howard says
he's looking around. Let me tell you about the Saturday comp. So the Saturday comp, double.
Please do.
Yeah, the double this year. So it'll be a double. So actually, if you guys come Friday night, everybody's welcome to spend the night if they want to spend the night out in the parking lot and stuff. So, if you want to bring your trailers or whatever you want to do, or, Carl Harper, you can put up a 10 if you want to and 10 out there. I'd like to see that happen. But anyway, so if you guys want to come in on Friday night, you can come in Friday night, spend the night. We're going to have a special room rate at the local hotel at the Comfort Inn right up the road. So,
a lot of lot lizards now by that trucking station in there.
What's that?
A lot of lot lizards there by that truck stop in there.
Why, you thinking of Eric, you're engaged now, man.
Hey, I'm 15 minutes from my house and my fiance. Let's just go with that one, all right?
What are you doing, man? So no. The Comfort Inn's the next exit up. But anyhow,
Oh, that's right.
yeah, you're thinking of the Super 8.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll have special roommate. We'll have special roommate for you. It's a Super 8 too, if you're interested in that. But anyhow, so yeah, if you want to come in Friday night, then you can spend Friday night, and then we're gonna have the double then on Saturday, and then we're gonna do a chicken wing. What do they call that? Auxiliary comp as well. So if you guys want to cook, actually, one of the things that we're looking to do is, as steak guys sign up for that, we're going to actually get in touch with them. And I'd like to see if guys will cook 10 pounds of wings. We'll provide all the wings, okay? But I know that with the steak comps that it's limited as far as space goes and stuff like that. But we might have some grills available for you guys to cook the wings on if you want to cook wings. But then we can go ahead and we can sell them to the public, and we can raise money for charity, which is kind of what this is all about to begin with.
That's
awesome.
Sweet.
That's awesome. I'm glad you said something about that. Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, it's kind of everyone makes fun of me for dragging trailers to SCA competitions anymore, Eric. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring anything extra other than my PK because everyone gives me a lot of crap for bringing a trailer, mainly Ed Gent. But
this will give you a reason to do it, though.
That's right. That's right.
You could rent it out overnight when you go home. Whoever needs to sleep somewhere, you can make some bucks off of it. Yeah.
Heck no, man. I'm gonna have Dean. I'll wait. I'll get there, and Dean Hasselbarth will be curled up somewhere in there. I don't need that.
Spooning up in there.
Yeah, spooning up with Dave.
Yeah. He's already tried that with me.
Stop. You snore too much for me to spoon.
Listen, man, the Ironman last year, the last Ironman that happened, I'm there passed asleep. I wake up to snoring, and I look over, and there's Dean Hasselbarth. I'm like, oh, no, I'm getting out of here.
That's how I was the last comp with you.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, hey, Jim Hudgens said he'll cook wings, and Howard said they're bringing their trailer. So
cool.
We can all snuggle in Howard's trailer.
There you go. Did he get it? Did he find a camper to pull it with yet?
I don't know. We'll have to find that out. But real quick, I got one for you, Eric. How? What was I going to ask? Oh, what's one of your favorite barbecue memories?
Oh my,
Jake.
From comp. I mean, it's so bad. You know, I got to tell you, all my memories are going to be like bad things.
Bring those on. That was going to be my next one. What's your
fun, but they're so bad. Oh my God. I'm thinking Dustin Reed right off the bat and him getting all hammered to the point where, but I mean, they're all about people being drunk on Friday night. By far, that's the best.
Hold on. I got to say here, another favorite part of the Ironman competition is all the porta potties all lined up, and then seeing the next morning which ones are blocked off. Because when you wake up in the morning, you take that 6 a.m. Tyler Bloom poop, and the porta potty people haven't been there yet. Which ones are all blocked off?
Yeah,
that's another fun part of it.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I'm thinking of like Sal Gobe from Smoking Gnome and his brothers, and I mean those guys just getting just hammered and doing better. The more they drank, the better they got. And stuff like that. Probably this is going to sound stupid. This isn't actually an Ironman memory, but one of my favorite memories is there was a team, and I can't think of what the name of it is now, and they were out of Philadelphia. And the very first year that we did the Go Naked competition, these guys got lost, okay, and showed up at like 9 o'clock in the morning, okay. Wow. They had. Okay, so they came in, they had 2 Weber 22s, and they came into the store and they bought, and they won grand champion.
At 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and it was the second comp that they had ever done in their life.
Wow.
Also, the other one that I like a lot too is Jonathan Ott. The very first year we did, I used to put on a competition called Smoketoberfest, which was great. The very first year we did it, of course, sleeted and just 32 degrees and this and that. And I remember Jonathan Ott had never competed in his life, and he's there all night long in a homemade cooker. And he had built a lean-to where he tied a tarp to 2 trees, and then down underneath, and him huddling down all around it. And he won reserve grand that year.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. What are the other ones? Oh my Mike Scahill. The one year we did Smoketoberfest. He hadn't paid. I probably shouldn't say it. He's not on here, is he?
I haven't seen him.
Okay, no, Dave Pavone's on here. Yeah, a lot of you guys know him. Anyhow, all right. Anyway, Scahill hadn't paid. All right. And through the whole thing, he was just the biggest ass. And if you know Scahill, Mike Scahill, he could be that way. So sometimes he can be really nice. Sometimes he can be the biggest egomaniac ass. So anyhow, he was being a real ass that day. And when he pulled in, wasn't happy with his spot. He almost left. I was like, just go. I don't really care. Okay, you haven't paid anyhow. Da-da-da-da-da. So anyway, so the whole thing went through, and we kept trying to get him to pay. And he was like, I'm really busy. I'm busy, make the food, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I mean, theoretically, we should not have let him turn in, okay? But no, the rep said let him turn in. He's going to pay, da-da-da-da. So we kept going. After all the turn-ins came in, we went to go get him, and he was laying down taking a nap, all right? And so he won grand champion. So I was like, F that guy. We are going to redo all these numbers. He is not going to win this competition. He's been a jerk the whole time. So finally, and I forget who the reps were. The reps were like, one more time. You need to go ask him one more time. So my wife went over, Carrie went over and knocked on the trailer door. And everybody's like, you don't want to bother him. You don't want to bother him. And she's like, you're going to open this effing door right now. And I mean, and Carrie never really gets mad about anything. And she's like, you're opening the effing door. So Scale comes out. He's like, what do you want to do? She's like, give me your money right now. I want your money right now. And Scale's like, well, okay. So she gave him the money. He gave her the money and this and that and everything. So we went ahead and Scahill won. It was his first grand champion ever, DC Firefighting Barbecue Team. All right. And during awards the entire time, because he placed like in 3 different categories and won GC, announced his name. I started out with, at every comp, there's one guy who's a total asshole. And at this comp, it was this team. I'd announced the DC Firefighting Barbecue Team. Congratulations, 3rd place port. Okay, the whole way through. And then he ended up, every single time I did that the whole way through. And then he ended up winning grand champion. So that was my grand champion speech. I was like, at every single barbecue competition, there's one guy who's a total asshole. I said, congratulations, you won. Oh my God, it was so funny.
That is funny. So here's one question for you. You own a barbecue store, supply store, all that kind of good stuff. You can get anything you need from a cooker to seasoning, all that stuff. What is something that you think every barbecue team starting out should get, other than a cooker? What's a tool or a gadget that every team should get?
A good thermostat. I tell everybody, whether you're a professional or whether you're somebody just coming into the store, so long as you know the internal temperature of your meat, and so long as you know the internal temperature of your cooker, you can cook anything. It doesn't really matter. Because, I mean, look at it now. You can do pork butts at 350 degrees. So long as you know when to wrap, as long as you know when to do what you need to do to it, okay, that kind of stuff. I'm a firm believer that you need to have a good stay-in thermometer. There's no 2 ways about it. The other thing I would tell you is have a good injector. You see all these guys struggling with these cheap, crappy injectors and stuff like that. It's not even $75 for a decent spit jack injector. Make the investment in it and go that route. Simple stuff. Have a good set of knives. Okay, it's funny too watching people try and trim brisket and stuff like that, or cut down ribs, and you got a crappy knife when you're doing it. You know what? Make sure your knives are sharp before you come. If you're competing, okay, be organized. Have a check sheet. When we had BBQ down, that was one of the coolest things that she did. Did you take that class? Did I know you back then?
I did not. I didn't even know DBQ was ever down. So you have to go into that story how she even came down. Was she down there for what, Big Green Egg or something?
No, she came down to teach a class. We invited her to teach a class. Like we had Paul Kirk down. We had Paul Kirk down one year to teach a class. And then we also had the following year, the year after that, we had DBQ came in to teach a class. And that was one of the best things that she did, was that she had a full organized or sheet as to how it was organized, in a check sheet before she went to every comp. because back then, and if you're a fan of hers or not, I mean, she was
She's
really
been on
good.
the show. Yeah.
Well, is that right? She was really good at
Yeah.
what she did because she was normally a one-man band at a comp. In other words, she didn't really have anybody else there to help her. So with her, she was incredibly organized, and that was a really good thing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Definitely.
That's
so
awesome.
I got a question. So you own the store and all the rubs that you have in there. What's your favorite rub to go to?
Oh, that's a crap question.
Why? It's a great question.
Well, here, let me ask you. So, are you talking about? So, one of the things that the simple answer to your question is the Holy Gospel.
That's a good answer.
All right,
that's a really good answer. That Holy Gospel is money.
It's a good all-purpose rub. Okay, it's got the pepper in it because that's a mix of their gospel and their holy cow. So it's got a good salt content to it. It works well on chicken. It's got a great pepper content to it. It works good on beef. And it's got a sweet background to it. So it turns around and it works out well, decent on ribs and pork. For an all-purpose rub, that's a great go-to rub.
Yeah.
So,
that's a good answer.
What about barbecue sauce? Because I know the last time I was there in 2019 and I cooked sausage for everybody. We bought out that one sauce, and my dad was like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta get this sauce." It was that blueberry one.
Oh, the black raspberry. No,
the raspberry, yeah.
Black raspberry chipotle from Carter's Q. Yeah.
He was all
I've had that stuff.
He would have drank the bottle.
Yeah. That's one of my go-to sauces. You know, the other one that I really like a lot is, and I'm not a sauce guy at all, but the other one I really like a lot is Meat Mitch.
Okay.
Mitch Benjamin sauce. I think that's a great barbecue sauce. When people turn around and it's sauce on brisket in any way, shape, or form, but that's a really full-bodied, and it works really well with brisket, particularly if you thin it out just a little bit. I mean, it works really well with brisket to that end. Anymore with ribs and stuff like that, I'm big on those glazes. Cosmos Cheap glazes are the bomb. I know that Texas Pepper Jelly started doing that, but when they had their stuff, we brought their stuff into the store years ago, and no one wanted anything to do with it. We could never get it to catch on. But Darian with his man, I tell you what, they are the bomb. Just came out with that maple bourbon one. We haven't tried it yet. We're waiting for that order to come in, but I'll be interested when that comes in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Cosmos. Yeah.
I've used the Texas Pepper Jelly for 10 plus years. I've always used all their rib glazes.
Is that right?
Yeah, I've used it for a long time. Some guy, when I learned barbecue, that's what he used, that and some rub from Texas, and I've always used the Texas pepper or that jelly. It's been good, but yeah.
I see Tommy sitting there hollering about that double butter garlic or whatever, and everybody loves that stuff. I can't stand it. You guys use it?
I did use it for a while. Yeah.
A couple years back.
I used it last year on my steaks, and did that, but until I switched over, I mean, man, let me tell you, there is something special about that Arcasipi combo, man. That stuff, I know it's crack, man. And I'm gonna bring you a bottle of Jim Hudgens seasoning too to let you give that a try, because that stuff's really daggone good too. And that's gonna be something different on the circuit for sure. That's the thing though. That's these seasonings. It's kind of like Blues Hog anymore though, Eric. Like you can just use the steak shake from John Lindsay or the Climax from Ronald Burns, but you can use any type of seasoning you want. But it's like Blues Hog. Like it's gonna be in every single steak here eventually. It's insane.
See, but that's terrible. Well, I think that's a terrible thing. All right, Angel's not gonna like this, but that's one of the things that concerns me about SCA is that it's becoming very the same. Everything. Yeah. Okay, so like all the steaks.
I was going to bring this up too at one point in time, so I'm glad we did it now. He's segued right into it.
Well, you know, it upsets me because about SCA when they first started in particular was the fact that you could cook on anything. Okay, you could do gas, you could do whatever. There was a story going around one time about the guy who dug a hole in the dirt. Did you guys hear about this?
Yeah, you told me about it.
Dug a hole in the dirt, put charcoal down in it, cleaned off the shovel, and then cooked the steak on the shovel. Okay, that's fantastic. All right, you can't do that anymore and expect to win in any way, shape, or form. Okay, everything's becoming very homogenic, and I wish it wasn't that way. And one of the reasons it's become that way is because you guys, and I'm pointing at you guys, okay, train the judges. Okay, you guys bitch about the judges, and everybody, all the competitors always bitch about the judges and this and that. But the competitors themselves are the ones over the years that I've seen train the judges to judge a certain way. So you guys have all trained the judges to look for diamonds versus squares, okay, on a steak when it comes to grill marks, and all steaks have to have grill marks. Okay, different things like that in order to possibly win. And
Right.
I don't think that's a great thing.
But I mean, they talk about that they're not supposed to judge by the marks and things like that. But
they say a lot. Like when Dave and I took this judging class for KCBS, man, they went back and you could hear them just dicing up the meat. You could hear them just slapping it in the boxes. The food was delicious, but they made like boxes. Like honestly, Eric, I should have all 9s across the board and should be a multi-award winning grand champion with some of the boxes that they turned in there. But they're like, you gotta judge them.
But that was a class.
Right.
Okay. I mean,
that's what they say though, is you're supposed to judge on the appearance of the meat. Like I'm starting to see now, and I follow some podcasts and some people out west that they're trying to start searing and doing sears and making sears be the next big thing. And but yeah, you're right with the grill marks. Everything's gotta have grill marks on now because they don't judge off. They're not supposed to judge off of it, but they do anyway.
Right. Yeah. Well, see, and you're supposed to, and that is the hardest thing to do. Like, I'm a certified judge, and as one of the hardest things to do is to judge a piece of meat on its own merits versus judging it against what you just tasted a minute ago. Okay, yeah. So like, you're tasting this one and that's really good, and then you're tasting this one and it's like, oh, that's really good, but you're supposed to judge it on its own merits, not that, oh man, it's better than that one. Yeah. Okay, it's this one. But I think that it's so hard to do that it's ridiculous. I remember the first state comp we did, we were short like 2 judges. So I had another guy who comes in the store on a regular basis be one of the judges, and we couldn't get him to shut up because it was so funny. Because he would taste the steak, and of course you're not supposed to talk, and he's like, "Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good." All right, and then you go on to the next one. He's like, "Oh, that one's even better." And it was like, "Shut up, man! You can't say that." I remember Brett like, you can't say that stuff. So, but it was really funny to that end. But yeah,
that's funny. That's really funny. Eric, I'm going to ask you this question. This is going to be a tough one. It's probably going to take us off to the rest of the show. Where do you see competition barbecue, that world ending up, in the future?
Wow. That is a tough comp. It's really going to depend, I think, a lot on whether or not KCBS survives 2020. In other words, I'd be really interested. Like Barbecue Gives Back. How many teams does he have down there? Do you guys know?
I don't know. I can find that out here while you're looking on here.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know how many teams he ended up with. I know that people are really excited to get into it, for the season to come back and stuff like that. But I don't know that KCBS will survive the number of comps that have gone away because they rely on so much of that for their income and for the
49.
Put it. How many?
49.
Oh, that's not bad.
29 and 24 backyard.
Yeah, good for the backyard.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's not terrible for first time or for the first comp out there this year. But like with us, one of the things that we got frustrated with, we weren't doing the Ironman for 2021, and KCBS kept our money. I wanted it back, and they were like, the things in the rules that they don't give it back. It's buried under number 18 or something like that. That there's a no refund policy. And that they would hold on to the money. And it's not going to break me. The $300 or whatever it was for the fee isn't going to break me or anything. But nevertheless, they've held on to a lot of dollars for rolling over into this coming year, but they don't have the fresh income from a lot of new comps going on. And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but there are a lot of comps that are overlapping each other this year.
Yeah.
They're all on the same day in the same region and stuff like that. It never used to be that way. You could never get away with that. In other words, if there was another comp within 100 miles or 150 miles of you, it didn't happen. They would, really protect your weekend to a certain degree when we first started doing this. Looking forward to seeing you too, Rolf. But anyway, so man, until we get more people interested in it, which is great to see the backyard thing really go. Like I was really happy to see that MABA started it's been a big backyard deal and this and that. And I mean, they're really active that way. I've noticed that up in New England, Nebs has really started a backyard deal too. And where else did I see that? Up in Minneapolis or the Minnesota Barbecue Association, where they do like shadowing now with backyard barbecue teams, and they have the Master Series teams come and work with the backyard teams, and then they actually have judges that come in and work with them as part of a program that they set together. I think that's the only way that that's going to survive. The other thing that they're going to need to do too is at some point or another there needs to be another TV show, I guess is the easiest way to put it, in order to get the average guy really excited in competition and excited about competing with their queue and showing that they are the best and they're competing against other people that are out there.
That may or may not be my question for our guest on March 30th.
What? Is that right?
May or may not be close to a question of mine for our guest on March 30th.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a new thing coming out now that the Rufus Teague series, that seems to have really taken off, and I've heard a lot of chatter of a lot of people liking the format of it and things like that, which kind of spices it up a little bit different than your normal KCBS competition.
Yeah, I completely agree. That Rufus Teague stuff, man. Eric, I don't know if you've seen much of it or not, but it's kind of like the 15 competition series. Like it gives guys a chance to, instead of running against Brad Leininger and all getting basted and shaking bacon, all those guys, picking Josh Farley from Picking Whiskey. Now he's out there running with those guys. Instead of having to run 50 competitions, man, you can be a grand champion out of these 15 competitions, and you're a champion overall. I mean, that makes it easy for the little guys to get into it.
Yeah, that's a good deal. I mean, that's kind of like when with the Sam's Club series that they were having and stuff like that. That was a home run too. It'll be interesting whether or not Rufus Teague stays with that, just because of the fact that nobody uses their stuff in competition in any way, shape, or form. I mean, they make one of the best steak rubs. I got to tell you, they make them. Have you ever used their steak rub?
No, honestly, no.
Steak rub is phenomenal. It really is good. But so if they don't see an increase in sales somewhere along the way, are they going to continue to sponsor, that series? But you're right. Unless something like that continues to move forward, I think it's going to be a tough haul for KCBS. Emily, she's pretty effervescent and pretty positive about the future of competition barbecue and stuff, and I know she's working pretty hard at it. I'm sure the board, whenever they meet her, is like, shit, what are we going to do now? What do we need to do? Let's make this happen, and stuff like that. And I think we need to have forward thinkers on there somewhere along the way. But yeah, I don't know if they can survive and through 2021 still remain financially solvent. I think that then it'll go on for another, at least 5 years or so. They need to figure out a way to take cost out of it too. Somehow it's less expensive. That's an expensive hobby.
See, you do a pretty great competition, and one of the things that stuck with me really hard when we had Josh on, it might have been either when Josh was on or when we did the round table with everyone. He said out west where all those guys are competing every single weekend, they show up with a field, they have their generators, they have tanks of water on their trailers, and that's it. And that's kind of what you supply. You supply water, but you're lugging it, and you don't supply power, at your competitions. But now you go to these competitions now, and it's like, oh, I have my, $250,000 RV and I need plumbing and water hookup and all that other kind of stuff. And, I don't want to pay. I'm paying this fee. And why are the prizes not that high? Because you're paying for all this stuff,
Right.
and I have a little rinky dink trailer, but I got, 20 gallons of water. Tyler made us buy a water jugs to have 20 gallons of water and, a generator. And I'm more than content to go compete in an Ironman competition and not have any power or luxuries. It's pretty daggone nice. Andrew at Smoke in the Grove does a fantastic job with power and water, but it's not necessary. Like those guys out west that are the big dogs that are just killing everyone, they don't have the power and water hookups like we do out here.
Right. And I don't disagree with that either. I've told people this because a lot of guys come to me and they're asking whether or not, because they want to put on a barbecue competition. And you've got to be pretty upfront with them. I mean, a competition in and of itself is a wash. Okay. Between the amount of money that you have in advertising, plus the amount of money that you have in utilities, if you're providing utilities, plus the prize money, plus the trophies, plus everything. The competition itself does not pay for itself. Mark Gibbs actually, where he broke down the actual costs of doing it. He did it for SCA too. I think it was a little off on SCA. You do fairly well, with SCA making as a charity component, because when it boils down to it, if you look at all these competitions out there, most of them are for charity. Okay,
Yeah.
Ours, while we bring people to the store and we do the open house, any money we make above and beyond whatever we do, we donate to charity. Whether it's OBR, we're doing it this year for the Greencastle Exchange Club. We did it for Relay for Life for all those years. We make between $3,000 and $4,000, which isn't lighting the world on fire, but it helps with the community, and that's kind of what you're looking to do in order to do this as well. But yeah, competition in and of itself for an organizer doesn't pay for itself. It's the other guys that come in, the beer guys, if you have beer there, the vendors, the other vendors and stuff like that. And that's what helps you actually make money at your barbecue time.
Yeah, for sure.
No, definitely.
For sure. Dave, what else you got? We got a couple more minutes here. We could easily go longer than an hour. That's why.
Let's do a quick giveaway. We'll give away some Big Jim rub.
All right.
Hey, what is the Arcasippy combo?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Also, Tyler's probably going to give you a lecture on it tomorrow.
Talk about it. How many rubs is involved in that?
4.
Give me 30 seconds. Hold on.
I thought he'd know.
Nah, there's 4 rubs in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all base layers. It starts off with like an all-purpose rub. All their rubs, like all the steak rubs that I've used so far, they're very, very fine. There's no coarse to them, and then it's just all amount of layers. But the flavor profile it's good.
Now, is it like, I guess, and I'm talking from a guy who hasn't used the Arcasippy combo, obviously. All right, but it's something where you can't put it all into one rub, where it has to be like layered one on top of the other on top of the other? Kind of like when you make competition chili and you have different dumps at different times.
Exactly. Like, when you go with your AP rub first and then you come in and then the other rub is more for like your color to give it the redness. And then your next rub layers in on top of it, is your flavor profile. And then, they build up. In your last few, they go on in sequences. So each one's an additional time. I mean, with all said and done, I think they sit on for almost an hour.
Yeah.
Your first rub will be an hour on the steak.
Okay. But you got like the steak shake. I forgot my climax somewhere, which I also learned. Hottie Toddy Barbecue, never Google Hottie Toddy Climax. Ever. Don't do it. But the Hottie Toddy 38 special, you got the Bovine Delight, you got the Big Red. So there's 5 of them in there because I don't have the Climax with me right now.
Yeah, but you don't use the 38.
You're missing one.
You don't use the 38 special in the Arcasippy combo.
You don't.
Oh.
He asked what the Arcasippy combo was. He didn't ask what Jake's was. Thanks for giving it away, Jake.
You're welcome.
Tyler, you got that? Write it down.
Hey, Dave, just remember, all you got to do is look over at his steak and go, man, that ain't right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He'll just lose his cheese.
Exactly.
Right.
There it
but
is.
Jim said it best. Jim said it best because he's part of Team Arcasippy. The combo is different for everyone. I mean, there's different people use it for different things. I'm sure John uses a lot more of his stuff. Ronald, will admit to using pretty much most hotty toddy stuff. Jim stuff's getting in there as well. But yeah, anything.
Big Jim stuff I've used it several times already, and it's just even just out of the bottle, it's like, shoo. I'll take a little shake, just forget the steak. I mean, it's good. I mean, just you always judge it by its smell.
But Dave, you're gonna do the.
Yeah, we'll give away a bottle of Big Jim's tonight. We'll go back. We'll go back to when Eric came on. So people who were on in the beginning, Eric said my age. What's my age?
First person to guess Dave's age gets a bottle.
Nice.
Here we go.
That's all right. All right, so everybody watching, Dave said that he would eat that stuff right out of the bottle. So if he comes to the Ironman SCA pop, all right, we're gonna take money to get Dave to eat a spoonful of rub.
What season? Which one?
Big Jim's.
Big Jim's. Oh snap, man!
Can I get a teaspoon?
No. Rub right there on the spot. Yeah, we'll throw a little money action together on that.
There we go. No, Bob McKee gets it though, Dave. So you got to get with Bob and get him a bottle of Big Jim steak seasoning.
I thought Chris popped up first.
No, Bob got it. Chris was second.
All right, Bob. Hit me up, Bob. Hit me your address. So I'll send it out to you.
All right. Well, that being said, Eric, you got anything else for us? Any comments, questions, concerns?
Look at that.
This was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys having me on. This was a great time.
Absolutely. We're excited for Ironman. We'll be there. I'm definitely competing Saturday. I'm trying to see if I can get off for Friday for the single, or at least take half day.
I pushed it as late as I could push it. I couldn't push it any later.
The hardest thing is
11 o'clock when we did awards.
Yeah, the hardest thing is interstates the next week, and I can only juggle so many days with it. But definitely be there Saturday. I think Jim Hudgens is coming up, so he'll get to actually feed Dave the spoonful of seasoning.
As Howard said, the rub chugging. We're on.
Rub chugging.
I'm gonna start practicing now.
But Eric, we appreciate it, sir. And anyone needs anything, we love and support Chris Kosman and Booster Barbecue. But if you want to come into a really cool daggone store and pick up a cooker or just shoot the crap and carry on and just leave laughing and feeling better than you walked in there, Mason-Dixon Barbecue Service is a place to do it for sure.
Hey, thank you so much, everybody. Great to see everybody online, and thank you so much for supporting our business.
Absolutely. Thank you, Eric.
All right, see ya.
Well, that was awesome.
That was good. That was
awesome. And, dude, I got to say, we're having Myron Mixon on the show.
And Tyler, if you're still on, the answer to your question when I was looking around for 5 minutes is I lost my pen, Jake.
Also, Tyler, since you're asking what is in my binder, absolutely nothing, but there's a whole bunch of stickers in the back. So that's where half my stash is. Dude, I don't have a trailer to put them on yet.
Oh, okay.
So,
but Bob, hit me up with your address, and I'll send that bottle out to you.
Absolutely. So, all right, guys. Well, if we're gonna finish it off here, man, we'll. Next week we have Luke Darnell from Old Virginia Smoke coming on the show. Yes. So that'll be a lot of fun. If anyone who knows Luke knows it's going to be a daggone good time. So we have Luke Darnell coming on. Then we don't have anyone yet for the 16th. We're going to work on that. We got some ideas. The 23rd, we got 270 Smokers. And then we're finishing off this Power Punch month with Myron Mixon himself. So it'll be a really fun week or fun month.
Yes.
So
can't wait. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, I can't speak anymore, man. So we're going to finish this thing off here.
Thanks, everybody.